Hey, real ones. Welcome back to the Let's Be So For Real podcast. We talk about life, relationships, and the mess in between.
You know it. This is your safe space for honest convos, bad decisions, and real life convos.
If you're new here, I'm Miko.
And I'm Akari. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Grab your bevy and get cozy because today's convo is going to be lit.
Ready?
Yes, ma'am. Do I look awake?
I'm a little nervy.
Yeah, you're telling me, bro. You're telling me. Do I
I'm
look awake?
nervy or whatever.
Do I look awake?
Yeah. What?
I don't look awake at all. Okay.
I think I'm gonna need my damn fan.
We're good.
Alrighty, guys. Welcome back to another podcast. If you haven't noticed, we're doing something a little different.
Face reveal.
Face reveal.
After what?
But yeah, a lot of people have been saying like we needed to have our cameras on because it will, I don't know, I guess it's better for people to listen to or watch. I don't know.
Yeah, because like facial expression, I guess it's just read what we're thinking. But I feel like our voice kind of says it all. But
yeah, I think so too. But I guess it is kind of nice to see the person talking as well. But we have a lot in store for y'all today. The title, as you can already see at the bottom, is boundaries or control. Where's the line? So we're basically going to be talking about boundaries today. And if you see me squinting,
she can't see, y'all. She can't see.
Yeah,
she can't see.
No, I can't see. I'm trying to do this without my glasses because I don't want to look like Urkel. So
you don't look like Urkel.
But I look like Urkel's sister, bro.
But okay, okay. Let's move on.
But the first topic is boundaries are essentially for everyone, right? The story that kind of prompted today's topic was more so backspace. We're gonna try that again. Boundaries are for everyone, basically, right? Like it can be a positive or it can be a negative. So that's kind of what we're diving in today. But I do want to kind of like give homage to the video that I saw in order for us to like kind of talk about this today. It was, forgive me, I don't know the group, but it was kind of like a group of friends and they were like getting Q&As essentially. But something along the lines of kind of like the Delulu diaries that we do. And it was the ones where like, am I the asshole for blah, 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 blah. And they were talking about this story where, girl and her boyfriend, they lived together, whatever. She had a lot of childhood trauma. And she was going to therapy for it and working through it and stuff like that, but she was vulnerable or comfortable enough to talk to her boyfriend about it. So with that being said, the boyfriend was seemingly super supportive about it. But he also had like invited his girlfriend of like, they were together for like 3 or 7 years. I know there's a big gap, but I can't remember exactly how many years. It's irrelevant, but they were together for a long time, right? So it wasn't just like new relationship. But he invited her to this family powwow type of thing that they have every Sunday, and they basically talk about, you know, what things that they're struggling with currently and you know, what goals they have set for themselves. So I think that concept wise, it was really, really cool, right? Like I wish that my family did something like that. I mean, we talk to each other on a regular basis. We don't actually have like an appointment or a time set just to have a family powwow. But so basically she was like, no, I'm not really comfortable with it, whatever. they had to go to his mother's house because his niece was having a birthday party or something like that. And they ended up doing the powwow while she was there. Anyway. So she didn't want to seem like the a-hole for, leaving and the whole nine. So she kind of just stayed there and was like, okay, fine, I'll just muddle through it. So I feel like that's strike one. That's a boundary one crossed because she told you that she wasn't comfortable with airing out her traumas and things that she was working through in therapy with your family.
Right.
And then going on to the next part, everyone was sharing their like stuff, their goals, what they're struggling with, whether it be money, financial stuff, or like relationship stuff. And then everyone else goes, the boyfriend goes, and then the mom turns to her and is like, if you want to say anything, you should, you can say anything now. She's like, no, I'm good. It's okay. And then everyone else kind of started chiming in, kind of like trying to prod her to partake. And I don't believe that the intentions were necessarily to be harmful. However, I don't think that her boundaries of what she was comfortable with was respected. So I just thought that after hearing this story, and I think we've touched on boundaries a little bit in our past episodes. But we never really like dove into it. What does it look like for us? What do we feel is crossing a boundary? And how to kind of really navigate through boundaries in like a relationship standpoint, whether it be for your significant other or a family member.
So I guess, we're going to start off with like what exactly is a boundary, and a line that marks the limits of an area or a dividing line. So basically in a relationship, it would be like that line that separates what you are okay with and what you're not okay with. And some people go over that line. Not gonna lie to you, some people do go over that line a lot. But it's good to set boundaries within the relationship, within family members, friends, especially friends. But even if you're best friends, then again, I feel like me and Miko don't really have boundaries, but per se, like we haven't gotten to that point where we're like, hey, like I am uncomfortable what you're doing right now. We haven't gotten to that point.
Anything that you could ever do to be like, I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah, no,
like literally
really.
If you were shitting on the toilet and I was walking in like, bitch, I gotta talk to you about something, I wouldn't be uncomfortable.
Right.
You might be.
Me so like, sure.
It's like, can this wait a little bit? But
this is my powwow.
But
right
it's like
now.
one of those things. I feel like our relationship is kind of like very much an open book. It always has been.
Yeah.
So it's never been like, oh, I'm gonna hide this from Akari because X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And so. But I think sorry.
Oh no, you're good. I feel like those boundaries will come if we started living together. I feel like a little bit, just a tiny bit, not too much, but it will come out like that. But
more so of like, I think segregation of space, like this is yours, this is mine.
Yeah.
Not when it comes to like common spaces, but like having, obviously your room, my room, stuff like that. But I think that what Akari said was a really good breakdown of what a boundary is. And I think that explaining it for me would be a goal or a benchmark that I set for myself that I say that I don't want you to cross, right? That could mean if I say, I don't want you to share this story that I told you in confidence. That should be a boundary that you don't cross, like telling someone else's story that isn't your own.
Exactly.
Can be crossing a boundary if it's important for that other person. So we also were going to talk about why are boundaries important. I think that it's very important and very healthy, regardless of if you're in a relationship or not, because I know we also focus a lot on relationships, but I feel like it's important to set boundaries for yourself, because if you don't know, I don't want to say what you stand for, but if you don't know what you stand for, how can you expect someone else to know? How can you know, if someone crosses a boundary, but you've never really explored it for yourself, how can you be mad at someone for doing that?
That's 100%. I would say, yeah, what Mika was going about, like, it is very important to set boundaries for yourself, not for anybody else, because, like, what's an example that we can do? Oh, she put on the glasses, y'all. She couldn't see.
Oh yeah, it was time. I'm like, I feel like I was squinting lightly. I don't know.
No, you're good. But she looks pretty, doesn't she, guys? She looks pretty. I don't know what she's talking about, Earl. Don't be shy now. Back to what we were talking about. So I feel like, yeah, I 100% agree. Setting boundaries for yourself, knowing what you are okay with and what you are not okay with, especially with a significant other or friends or family. I know some families are not like that, especially Caribbeans. They're like, what's a boundary?
Yeah.
But I feel like you should set those, especially like in a workplace too. Like, you should set boundaries in there as well. Like, just because you work somewhere and, like, if you like sit in a cubicle, if somebody comes into your cubicle and always talking like smack about another employee, and you know you don't like talking stuff or gossiping, then you should probably be telling that person like, hey, I don't like this stuff. But if you let it keep going, keep going, and it gets to a point where you get pissed, like, that's your fault for not addressing that person right off the bat. After, like, I say 1 time, 2 times, you're like, okay, yeah, I don't like this. You're battering somebody else.
The first time.
Yeah. I mean, there's people who are people pleasers who do be like, don't look at me. Anyways, yeah, I feel like you should be doing that, especially and in a relationship. If you don't do that in a relationship, a lot of people will take advantage of you so hard, even if it's not intentional. It's a natural thing to do, especially when you have alpha like omega type deal. Even though it's not a presence or like a dominant thing, a lot of people who have more of a dominant personality will take over that person, if you get what I mean. It's not so much of like a red pill, blue pill thing. It's more of like some women are more dominantly like okay with their like pushing their feelings and telling what they want, and some men are not, and it can be vice versa. Some men are more dominant, females cannot be more like less dominant, and it depends on what you want to push through the relationship and if what you're comfortable with. And honestly, that's on you. I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, that's on you.
I think that you said it pretty well. I think it's more so of like, if something arises that you're not comfortable with, I think if you are a people pleaser, it's harder for you to set those boundaries than it is to kind of like just be vocal. For me personally, I'm vocal.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Very vocal.
If I don't like something, you'll know I don't like something. Either it's by my face or I'm verbally telling you, hey, I'm not comfortable, or don't do that shit. That's just how I am. But I'm trying to take a page out of Akari's book and really be more so of like, let's step back. Are they really crossing a boundary? Or is it like, nah, I just don't like what they're doing. You know what I mean? And I think that's something to be distinguished as well. Is this yeah, is this person actually crossing a boundary, or are they is it just something they're doing something that I just don't like? Because that is also a thing or not. And I think boundaries can be both positive and negative.
Yes.
And just off of that aspect in itself, because if someone's doing something that you just don't like, one, that doesn't really constitute a boundary. They're just doing something that you just don't like. And then two, if you set boundaries that are super stringent, that's basically unattainable for anyone to either communicate with you, get to know you, really play nice with you. That's an issue in itself too. You shouldn't be overcompensating for, just having those limits and things like that. And I think it also comes with when people tend to be traumatized previously. I feel like people have the compensity to kind of overcompensate to kind of take back control or things like that,
Yeah, that makes sense. Because y'all, Miko can get petty sometimes, and I'm just like, ooh. Honestly, we learn from each other, because I'm more of a people pleaser. She's more blunt, and then we kind of bounce off each other. And I try to take some pages out of Miko's book and be more like, nah, I'm not okay with that. I'm still learning, right? But it's happening. I mean,
it's definitely like a learning thing.
Yeah, like on my part, I feel like when I do be more blunt and I am a people pleaser, a lot of people who know me as a people pleaser are very nice. When I try to be blunt, they'd be like, Akari, you're changing. I'm like, I'm changing for myself to be better, not to let people walk all over me. I'm sorry. They're like, you're not the same. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm sorry. It's Miko's fault.
I'll own that. I'll let it be my fault. I don't care.
Because when I tell her she will come at a girl's neck so quick, I was like, ooh.
And I don't even think that it's kind of, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not really like a read you type of thing. I don't know if that makes sense. So it's not like I'm going to the other person and being like, oh, you're this, that, and the third, da 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 da. No, it's not like that. It's more so like,
if they do something to you or to a person,
I'm asking you questions like, now what made you think that was okay?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
It's like, and I learned this, I feel like I learned this from my grandmother. She will read you without you knowing you've been read. Like she'll be like, I can't even give an example, but she would be, you'd sit there like, did she insult me or did she school me? I don't know if I'm learning or should be offended type of thing. You know what I mean? Right. And so I think that just being around her and kind of picking that up, I think, is just where it kind of came from. But I think it has a lot to do with how you grew up, right? Like if you weren't raised to almost like grown up, if you didn't grow up to be more of an assertive person, right? Really, obviously you're not gonna, I feel like it's a muscle that you have to have trained, and that comes with decision making or anything of the sort, creating boundaries for yourself. And I feel like what our generation does well with parenting is trying to make sure kids work that muscle of having their own boundaries, so that way they can exercise their voice. So it's not hard, it's not easy for them to be taken advantage of in malicious ways or just innocent ways that kind of like happen with life, but kind of like moving on to our next segment. So how do you set a boundary without it being an ultimatum? Because I feel like a lot of people, and especially in more focused in relationships, will set a boundary, but it feels like an ultimatum. Like, you either respect me or you can leave. Like,
That's a hard question, honestly, because I feel like boundaries kind of come gradually. It's not like something that is sit down and talk about, like, hey, I don't like this, that, and the third. I feel like, especially when you're with a partner and you're living together for the first time, I feel like you're still trying to figure out what are those boundaries without even saying much. And it could be like, hey, I do not like having shoes in the house. And so instead of saying that, sometimes for some people, I know some roommates will say, hey, we're gonna sit down, we're gonna list everything that we want in the house or what rules we're gonna go by. Relationships, you're coming into somebody's home, you're not used to leaving your shoes at the door. That person is used to leaving the shoes at the door, and I feel like keep putting the shoes back, kind of be like, oh, no shoes in the house. Or if you guys have like a sit down and you talk about things, eventually be like, okay, hey, like, this is what I like and this is what you like, but this is what you don't cross. But unfortunately, those lines are already crossed before some of them are already crossed before it got sat down and talked about, and that's what leads to that conversation, unfortunately. But I feel like, I don't know, it's more of a gradually thing for me that I think about, because I never had a situation where I had to set a boundary yet. But I think, Miko, you can have more depths of that. That if you want to chime in.
So keeping the question in mind, I think that it's very much possible to set boundaries without making it an ultimatum.
Right.
Like, just using the example that you had, wearing shoes in the house or not wearing shoes in the house. If that is something that I feel like is very important to me, it would have came out off the bat. You know what I mean? So why I'm saying that is that if we know that there are things that you can't compromise, for, then that should be something that you should always say outright.
Yeah.
Whether it's prompted or not, So I guess that's the main point that I have as far in regards to answering the question of can you make it a boundary without making it an ultimatum? If I tell you I don't do well with people trying to tell me what to do. Not saying that that's me, just giving an example, right? If you've been in past relationships, and I feel like this is the beauty of dating, if you've been in past relationships where you've had someone that's super duper controlling and you know that that's just not something that you gel with, then that should be something that you analyze from your past relationships and realize that this is not what you want moving forward. So for me, when it comes to my relationships, it's very important for me to have communication. That is something that I'm very much big on, because I feel like if we have a solid base of communication, any problem that we come up against or comes up in our life, we can talk about and move past that. I'm taking my glasses off. So I hate to keep bringing this up, but I know for and I, we've said this in past episodes as well.
Who? This is why we don't do live recordings, okay?
Just bleep out his name.
I will.
Bleep out his name.
That's crazy.
Sunny. So in past relationships and past episodes, Sunny and I have talked about where communication is really key, like really key. And I feel like a lot of, well, I wouldn't say a lot. That's kind of exaggerating. But I feel like, for sure, all of the conflicts that we've had have been able to be resolved because we know how to communicate separately. And because we're gradually figuring out how to communicate to each other, right? Because it's different to talk to, well, I don't want to say talk to yourself, because I talk to myself all the time. But I mean, when you answer yourself, that's where you get the issue. I just want to put that out there. But I like talk through my emotions because that's the easiest way for me to not feel overwhelmed and burdened, but also trying to process how I feel about a certain situation. So it's a difference between me talking to myself and then having to reiterate that or tell it to another person, another human being, because the way I talk to myself should never be the way that I talk to someone else.
Right.
You know what I mean? Everyone is different. Communication is different across the board. So going back to boundaries set specifically, sometimes this might not go over well with people, but I don't care. Anyways, sometimes I feel like boundaries have to be ultimatums. Okay. Because
but not petty ones though. I feel like petty ones is just
when we're talking about like ultimatums, we don't mean like petty ones. Like if you didn't put your shoes by the front door, I'm burning them. Like
throw this PC out the window.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? That's to me is like just idiotic. But when you have a situation like, you know, if you're not going to communicate with me, or if you're not going to show progress in the communication that we need for us to survive, why am I still here?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like almost a year later and y'all are still not really communicating. Like your main issue is communication. Something's going on there. Y'all got a couple flags that y'all need to, I don't know, clean up something, because it shouldn't, in my opinion, if you're talking to this person on a regular basis and they are important to you as you say they are, they should know how to communicate with you and vice versa.
That's true.
You should know their love language. So sometimes boundaries have to be ultimatums, because if you don't know what your boundary is, I hope you don't hear them. You hear them?
I hear them.
Okay. Sometimes boundaries have to be ultimatums in the sense of putting yourself first, you know, making sure that your sanity is intact, because yes, it takes two to tango, but if one is not fully there, one's gonna be doing the bachata and you're gonna be doing a tango. You know what I mean? So
so I have a question then before we move on to the next one. Should we put boundaries on financial situations? Should there be a boundary set on that? Say, like you said, like somebody's love language. You should know somebody's love language. What if that love language is gifts or buying things, or, you know, going to that finances situation? Like, do we put a boundary on that? Or can we put one?
You can put a boundary on it. I feel like anything that matters to you, you can put a boundary on, right? Whether that be to negate someone from doing something, or to promote yourself to do something, right? Because you can try to encourage someone else to do something, but that's really not a boundary that you can set, right? You can only set a boundary for yourself to encourage you to do something. But when it comes to finances, I think that it's a relationship thing, right? And also being aware and understanding your partner is very important as well. And the reason why I say that is because, let's say if you're with this person for, I would say, a year again, right? And if you don't know that they like sporadic gifts here and there, it doesn't even have to be like big, right? Like it can be, oh, let's go on a date. I'll pay for it. Oh, let's, go to Build-A-Bear. I don't know. I just say that because I want to go to Build-A-Bear.
She apparently wants to go to Build-A-Bear really bad.
Who?
I said you apparently want to go to Build-A-Bear really badly.
Yes, I very much do. Build-A-Bear, sponsor me. Anyways, I really do want to go to Build-A-Bear, but just giving examples of like just sporadic, nice gift type things, right? Like, I almost said his name again. Sonny today, he was like, "What do you want for Chipotle?" And I'm like, "What?" Like, what do you mean? He was like, "Yeah, I was gonna get you Chipotle. What do you want?" I was like, "It's okay. You don't have to give me Chipotle. Like, it's fine. You don't have to do that." And he was like, and I was like, "Plus, I already have food. I had already ate lunch by then." And he was like, "Okay, well, I'll get it tomorrow." I said, "Okay, well, fine. No, I'm not gonna force you." But it's just like stuff like that. If we didn't have the conversation about our finances, I feel like the other person is going to have expectations of you that may not be realistic for you. You see what I mean? So, and if that is not the case, like if the case is that, let's say if I was less fortunate and, let's spin it. If I was super duper rich, right? And I put a boundary on relationships that if a person asked me for money, just flat out money, then I would analyze then the cause and effect of that situation would be if they ask me for money, then I'm probably going to be looking at them a little bit sideways because I feel like for me, that's a boundary that shouldn't be crossed. This person should not be asking me for X amount of money just because they know that I have the money. You know what I mean? So I feel like you have different mindsets for different things. Everything you can set a boundary on. So to answer your question, that was a very long-winded answer. But yes, I do think that you can put boundaries on finances, whether it be because you don't want to be taken advantage of, or it's because it's a mutual boundary between in that relationship to kind of keep, expectations realistic and also not causing that fight, that fight of finances going.
Got you. Okay. Interesting. So we're gonna go into our next topic of this. Is we're still keeping it about boundaries, what was a boundary that you didn't know that was needed until it was crossed? And our listeners, I want you to think about that and comment below, like what kind of boundaries that you need but didn't know until it was crossed. Let us know, and I'd love to hear it from you guys. But we go with what kind of boundaries have crossed you and you're like, whoa, I didn't know I needed that. Hold on.
This is one of those things, and I hate because I don't want anyone to listen to this and think that I have everything figured out, like I just know everything under the sun, because I don't. I'm gonna preference that. I cannot recollect a boundary that was crossed that I didn't already express. You see what I mean? So, I can recollect boundaries that I set that are crossed, that was already communicated, and the ones that should have been already, assumed. But we would never assume that everyone has the intellect of a 5-year-old. So
I'm done. 5-year-old is crazy.
I can't really think of anything of a boundary that was crossed that I had already set forth, basically. What about you?
I haven't hit that before. I don't think I have.
Girl, I can name one.
What? What's a boundary? I don't know. Tell me. Tell me, because I don't know.
The J thing.
The J thing.
Mm-hmm.
J.
The gift and Discord. It was really minute. Sent the gift to you in Discord. That was basically like an unspoken boundary
yeah. Oh god. Yeah.
I want to preface by saying it wasn't like a negative. It wasn't like a big situation.
No, it wasn't. So how do I PG this? So basically,
it was a graphic gift. Basically,
it was a graphic gift, which was more towards violence. And me and Jay already talked about this. We're good. We're friends. We squashed it. But I would say I'm not really into that type of humor, or think it's funny, or think it's like okay to send regardless who you are. And Jay comes from a different side of things than I am, so his humor would not match mine. So what he thinks is funny or have a dark humor towards, I wouldn't think it's funny. So I guess that's an unspoken boundary. And we communicated after he apologized, and I was like, no, it's fine. It was just like, I wouldn't expect you to answer with that, there was no point of doing it, because we were not having a conversation for you to do that, nor was the conversation evolving around that. So it was kind of heartbreaking to me to see that, because it wasn't fake. It was an actual real thing that happened that somebody turned into a GIF. So it's probably somewhere online, but I guess that's one. But other than that, I feel like, I guess I would say for not relationships, I would say for family, I would say like coming into my room and using things and don't putting it back, or stealing it and not telling me, and I have to figure out like, example, my mother, I love her to death. She likes to take my hair products. My brother likes to take my deodorants and body washes and shampoos, and that stuff is expensive. It's expensive. So every time I'll go to work, right, and I come back, the stuff that I left on my desk is not on my desk, it's on the dining room table. Like, excuse him, why is it there? Like, it's on the dining room table. Okay, interesting. I go confront my mom. I'm like, Mom, why? What is this? She's like, I didn't touch nothing. I didn't do nothing. I was like, liar.
I said, just got up and walked out the room.
Right? I was like, so how did it get here? Like, what do you mean? How did it get here? And she's like, yeah, how do you know that I took it? I'm like, I know where my stuff is, especially it's in my room. I placed it there. It's been there for days. What do you mean? Especially when she steals my shoes, my dunks, bro. I get so mad. Bro, I went to work one day. I came back on my break because I forgot my headphones. Why is she wearing my new purple dunks on her feet that I did not touch yet? I was like, gotta cause it.
Dang, that was me off too.
Bro, I was so mad. She ran inside that house as soon as she saw me. I was like, no. I was like, take them off. Take them off. I was so mad, but yeah, it's more.
It's kind of messed up too, because you didn't even get to wear them.
Bro, she did that with my She did that with a Do I have them here? Fudgicles, I can't. No, I don't have them. She did that with a limited edition sneaker that I got from a sneakerhead, and I didn't even wear them, bro. I didn't even wear them, and I was like, you creased my shoes. You creased my shoes, bro. I was like, I didn't even wear them.
Dang,
yeah,
crease.
I know, but those are my boundaries for my family. Like, don't come in my room and take stuff and then don't put it back. I don't mind you using it, just put it back where you found it.
Yeah.
Oh, especially with my brother, and shampoo and conditioner. Oh. Like, I buy stuff to last me throughout the month. Okay, I don't buy things for you to use and me to be like, all my brushes, my combs, gone, my hair ties gone, and I'm just like, I thought I was a female in this family. What's going on? Like, what the hell? What's going on? My bonnet's gone. Okay. Like, the only thing I have to myself is my freaking perfumes. That's the only thing they don't touch. Okay. And my skincare.
They know they probably die if they touch your perfumes.
Oh my god, I will murder everybody. Just kidding. No, I won't. But but don't touch my perfumes. Please do not touch my perfumes.
Well,
only me. What?
She might catch a couple bodies. Just a couple.
Miko doesn't like perfumes like that, but if she wants to take one or use one, I don't mind, because I'm not like a hoarder. I like to buy perfumes.
No.
Which one?
Only perfume. Well, I was about to say the only perfume I have. That's a lie. I have a few perfumes, literally four. Two of which you technically bought me. Because one was the one that you bought me for the Arabic one that you bought me for my birthday.
I was so mad about that.
Yes, I was mad. That thing smelled so good. I had to buy it again. So, but technically, I feel like she bought it, so I'm gonna give her two. And then the Kayali one. I not gonna lie, I didn't really like it at first, but the smell grew on me.
That's what it does.
Every day.
That's what it does.
I literally wear it every single day.
She's like, I don't like this one. I don't like sweet things. I like earthy. I was like, nope, you're gonna try today.
I'm more so of like a floral, fruity type of person, like when it comes to wearing. But getting off topic, I apologize. But
it's okay.
The perfume is more like, it's pistachio and vanilla, so it's kind of warm, but it's kind of like pungent at the same time, if that makes sense. So I don't know, it's just nice, and it wears well. Like when it starts to get more dull, it's top tier.
Yes.
But back to the regular scheduled, whatever the hell it goes.
Whatever.
So that's basically a boundary that was crossed, that wasn't really like spoke about before it happened. And when I was going, like, making through the notes, that situation was like the only thing that I could think of. I couldn't think of any for myself, and I'm like, what the hell? Why? But I feel like that was like such a perfect one, because when we were talking about it, you didn't know that was a boundary before until it was actually crossed. And I'm proud of you. You actually voiced how you felt, and then it got resolved.
Yeah, I'm still going through that, because I do not like to confront people. I really do not. Like, it takes me time to actually like confront somebody and say my feelings out to somebody. And before, I used to never say anything, but now I'm like more of like, let me take a step back, vent to somebody, and then go to that person and be like, hey, this is how I feel. Because I need I need that second insight for me.
Reassurance.
Yeah, reassurance before I say something wrong, and I'm like, dang, I didn't mean to say it like that. So I like to say it to Miko, or who else did I go to? I think I just went to you and KB, and I was just like, hey, this is how I feel. How do I say this to this person? They're like a chat GBT for me. Like, hey, make this professional. And then, here. But
So would you say that's like a boundary that you struggle to enforce?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think it came with like my depression side, where I kept everything to myself and dealt with everything myself. It's more of like, I don't know how to let it out and confront people. Like, I can rant, I can bash you out to somebody else so quick, but in front of your face, I'm like, I'm just a girl. And not I'm just a girl. That's kind of cliche, but it's more of like, I don't want to talk to you. Like, you might get mad at me. I don't want to hear your disappointment. I don't want to. It's the people pleasing thing in me, but it's like I don't want to hear it because I don't want to get in an argument. I just want to squash it and move on.
I say bring it on. If you can fight this bull, you deserve to be in the ring. I'll tell you that much.
But I'm still learning, I'm learning. I'm getting there. I'm almost, like, where's my graduation? We're gonna have a graduation day. Be like a car
when she completely solves an issue right then and there.
Right. Oh my god. I think, like, if it's like my man or something, I feel like I'm more vocal. I think gradually I've been growing depending on each boyfriend that I have. Like, not saying that I have a lot of boyfriends, but each person that comes into my life, I'm more vocal and more blunt and more like.
I think I blinked instead of winked. You continue.
But what's the winking for? What the hell? Anyways, I feel like I'm more not aggressive, but I know what I want, like, I'm 29, I know what I want, and if you're just gonna play games, then I'm just like, no. Yeah, so situationship. Anyways, yeah. That office on romance. Just kidding. Ooh. No. that boat has shipped and sailed and drowned with all the bodies on it.
Let's see here. What boundary would you set if you weren't afraid to be? I'm sorry. What boundary would you set if you weren't afraid to lose someone? I feel like this was an interesting question.
It is very interesting. See, the thing is, I have to be in the situation to know the boundary for me, because I haven't been in situations where relationship wise where I'm setting a boundary like, hey, we need to do this, you need to do this, or I don't like this, I don't like that type of thing. I feel like if I'm living with somebody, let's try to push to the future. If I'm living with somebody, I would say like the house needs to be cleaned at all times. Well, not all times, but like at least
kept up with.
Yeah, like either, and then like I guess shoes at the door. I don't like shoes in the house, even though I grew up with shoes in the house. But to me, I grew like, I don't want shoes in the house. If I ever get an apartment, I'm not putting shoes in the house. Slippers. But yeah, I think
you have house shoes for a reason.
Exactly. And do you believe in bathroom slippers?
Okay, so
we're going off track. I'm so sorry. We've been going off track.
I've never called them bathroom slippers. But this past winter, I got the Uggs that I sent you. We got matching Uggs. Bestie shit. But we got matching Uggs, and I was wearing those for slippers, house shoes, whatever you want to call it. But I have like these rubber ones that I wear when I'm going to the bathroom and I know I'm gonna like take a shower and stuff like that. Because I learned my lesson with fur inside of a shoe. So
ain't no way you put water with fur.
No, see, I had these those Crocs.
Yeah.
That they're kind of like the Birkenstock style Crocs.
Oh yeah.
So they're like the 2 or 3 going across the top of your foot. And that it had like rainbow fur on the inside. So I was wearing them religiously, like literally all the time. But so I was wearing them everywhere, not like outside, but like I was wearing them everywhere in the house. So when I would shower, even though I would dry off and do those things, it would my feet wouldn't be completely dry. So then after a while, it wasn't great. So I threw those out and got new house shoes. I don't know why my freaking forehead is like itching like crazy. Anyways, but what were we? We're so off track, bro. What were we even talking about?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, what boundary would you set if you weren't afraid to lose
yeah.
someone? I think for me, I don't know. Because it's not really like a boundary per se, but more so expectations. I feel like they can kind of double boundaries and expectations, because I'm setting a boundary for myself that I don't want to be with someone that's not going to be serious about me, right? So my expectation is that you're doing everything that you can in order for us to have longevity, if that makes sense. So, glasses are coming off. So for a relationship, to me, I'm 28. I'm about to be 29 in a couple months. I want to have an established relationship. I don't want to, be 35 and still going on dates to find Mr. Right. Like, no, I don't want that. So my relationship now, I'm planning for it to be a long-term relationship. But if my partner doesn't put in the work to do so, you're inherently crossing a boundary that I set for myself, not really on the other person, but for myself, because I set a boundary that if the person isn't showing me, that, we can continue to grow, that you're doing the necessary things for us to really flourish, then I made a point to myself to kind of realize those flags, if you will, and do something in regards to it. And unfortunately, that will come down to us just not being together anymore. But it's so if a boundary that I would set that I'm if I wasn't afraid to lose somebody, would probably be more of like a more stringent timeline, I guess. So I don't want to be dating someone for over a year at this point in my life without living together, or very much have a solid plan to live together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Guys, I got kicked out.
Kicked out of what?
I got kicked out, It's fine, I cried about it.
You didn't get kicked out.
I got kicked out.
She didn't get kicked out.
I got kicked out.
We got the she shed in the back. It's okay.
She put me in a she shed, y'all. A she shed. What the fuck is that? Bro, am I a dog? No, I got kicked out, guys. As soon as Sunny came in, I was like, oop, time to go. Sorry.
I was talking to him the other day. I was like, would you be okay with us living with Akari, us all in one house? And he was like, I don't know about that one. And it's not because he doesn't want to live with you, but he's like, I want to walk around my house naked and not have to worry about, someone else being there. And I think that's valid. You know what I mean?
I'm getting kicked out.
But for me, the best of both worlds was be if I can live with my boyfriend and live with my best friend. I one day will have my dream.
Yeah.
And you know how I have my dream?
Tell
me how.
Preach it.
We're gonna have a big ass property, right? You're gonna build your house on that property. We're gonna have our house on that property. And I can just walk over to your house whenever I want to.
That's
so true. That's basically living together.
That is true. That is true.
Tell me it ain't good, chat.
As long as the house is under your name, I don't care. Sorry, Sonny.
The land will be. The land will be. I don't own the house, but the land will be.
Type shit.
But but that's for me. Yeah, just going back to that's a boundary that I feel like I kind of subconsciously set. And I think it's a boundary. Maybe it's like a self-imposed time frame, but I think they're kind of one and the same. What would your ex say? We're gonna edit this out. What would your ex say was a boundary that you were bad with?
I would say being indecisive, if you count that as a
I would say that's a quality more than a boundary. Talk about it.
I don't know, because like, okay, peep this. So with my first ex longtime boyfriend, we were long distance, but he was more dominant. Like his personality was more dominant. Mind you, he was in the army. So y'all know those personalities are very nonchalant. Very like, yeah, don't do it.
My way or the highway.
Yes. And I actually I asked a customer when I was a receptionist at a Audi dealership, and he said he was from the army. I was like, so how did your wife deal with your personality? She's like, she took it hard. I mean, eventually I calmed down. I was like, how long did that take? He's like, a couple years. I was like, I don't have a couple years. I was like, I don't know if I can do that. Years. Yeah, but he was more of like, I don't know, I like to be coddled. I don't know why, but I am that person, like, especially if somebody, my partner, I like to be coddled. I like to be like that little girl, be like, take care of me type of thing. I don't know why, but that's why I find comfort. And he was more dominant, and he was older, like 2 years older. Yeah, 2 years older. So a lot of times when I'm like, I just want to relax and not have to worry about things and think, he'll be like, you're a grown woman, you know what to do, act grown. And I'm just like, I know I'm independent. I've been independent since I was 18 years old. I know what independency looks like. I don't need you, but it's like the satisfaction, like I can just relax and be just a woman at that point.
Yeah.
I can be a dainty little girl. I mean, not little girl, but a dainty woman, like just damsel in distress. Yes, exactly. I can be like that. But he's like, nah, you need to be grown. You need to be this. I'm like, bro, no. And this was more in the middle of a relationship where he kind of changed and he became an asshole. But I loved him too much to be like, I need to let you go. This is toxic, you know. But yeah. Dang. Boundaries. See, that's hard. That's hard for me. I don't have boundaries yet. I'm not there yet. Show me some. Actually,
I don't have boundaries yet.
I don't. I really don't. Maybe no, because speak on your boundaries, because I feel like there's some boundaries that Miko has that I'm like, oh yeah, I do that too.
I'll adapt them.
Like, yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. I should do that.
As far as like, I don't know why the back of my head itches like crazy.
Everything's
as far as like things that my ex has said that I'm not good with, or boundaries that my exes have probably I wouldn't say. I don't want to look cross-eyed. I feel like I was zoning out. A boundary that I would say that they would complain about in a way is more so of like separation between church and state. Okay. And what I mean by that, I don't mean like actually church and state, right? I mean more so of like our relationship versus someone else's relationship between us and them. That makes sense. Because until recent years, I'll say this, I'm not a cheater. I don't want to be a cheater. Have I done it before? Yes, I have cheated before, but it's not it wasn't like an intentional, oh, like I'm gonna get you back. It wasn't like a I'm just tired of you and I don't really want to tell you that I'm tired of you type of thing. You know what I mean? I feel like those are the common ways that people cheat, but more so of the sense of, oh, I've gotten closer with this person and I inherently started having feelings for that person beyond just like friendship. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I feel like for me, that isn't something that a past ex will complain about because it never really like influenced anything like that. Like I've never broken up with someone and then just was like, oh, I'm gung-ho about you, so let's go straight into a relationship. It was never really like that. It was more of like 9 times out of 10, I have relationships with individuals that I've known in my past relationship. That makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. So I'm with someone, right? And I get to know someone else. And then if me and this other person isn't working out for whatever reason that may be, I might be inclined to go to that person after everything is already separated.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
That can look like, me already having feelings for that person after I go to that person to start dating them, I guess.
That's very interesting.
So I think that the boundary of not putting myself in a position to even feel anything might be something that not all my exes, but maybe an ex in the past could say. But that's why I know now, like I know myself, I know that I wouldn't say that I'm like a flirty person.
You're not. I feel like it's more like we're just, because I have this problem too where like I'm just friendly, and I feel like either, I don't know if this is for you, talking to guys is so much easier than talking to women. On my case, like I get along with guys more than females. Don't like me. I don't know what to tell you, but females don't like me. Mika's the only female that I kept as a friend for so long. Not gonna lie to you. Everybody else just like, I'm like, bye.
But yeah, because sometimes it's kind of hard just to talk to women about it, because I feel like women sometimes also judge you, but it can also be in a good way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It can also be in a constructive way, but I feel like oftentimes women will judge you or criticize you not in a constructive way.
And they won't tell you about it.
It's more of like a tear you down type of way.
And they won't talk to you about it. They won't come up to you about it. Nothing. And then like, okay, I would say like what situation? Like what's his name? Lindsay and what's his name?
Quagmire.
Yeah, him. Like Lindsay was the first person I met in that city, right? And we were all friends and everything, and out of nowhere she was pissed. Like she didn't like me no more. Like she would not hang around me, she would not talk. And I went up to her, I was like, hey, did I do something? She's like, no. And I was just like, then what's up with your mood? And after that, she would not talk to me whatsoever when it came down to like meetings and stuff like that. Nope. Nothing. Only Quag will say something, and I got closer to him because of her not talking to me, and I got closer. He was more of a friend than anything, and I don't know what it is, but that's a situation where
that could have been it.
Maybe I was like, girl, you got me into this gang, girl. You're the one who got me in this, because there was no other females in that city that I ran into. It was mostly men, and she's the one who introduced me.
Like heavily male predominant.
Yes, very much so. But she's the one who introduced me to everyone. She's the one who got me to a higher up standard. Sorry guys, we're talking about video games. If you guys do not know, I'm so sorry. But she's the one who got me to where I was in the gang, and then all of a sudden just cut off. I don't know if because Quag was giving me more attention or responding or he took my advice when I say things, because I did tell him, I'm like, hey, like, I respect you as the leader and I will do whatever that you want me to do, but here's ABC problems that we're going to run into. And we had that communication between us, because I wanted him to be a great leader, and a lot of people think he was a scaredy cat, basically. And then Lindsay was more of the leader in that aspect, because he was more laid back and she was more like, no, we need to do this.
Vocal, yeah,
she was more vocal. I think me coming in and being vocal about things towards him, like, hey, you should be doing this as well, and not just letting people run all over you, I think that triggered something. I might be wrong. I'm just looking at it from the outside.
No, I mean, being there and hearing everything, I think that had subconsciously something to do with it, but I think that when it comes to personality wise and being more hi, how are you type of thing, that's kind of more so of how I am. I think it has to do more with like the customer service aspect and just how I work and operate. I think that's where it comes from. A lot of guys can take that as me flirting or having some type of invested interest in them, when you can like somebody, you can vibe with them, but as friends, you know what I mean? And that's why I'm very conscientious, especially I would say within the past couple of years with relationships, of, you know, being more bold with what I want and being more bold with what I expect. Because the last thing that you will catch me dead doing is saying like, oh, I didn't tell you, I'm sorry, but I'm mad at you because of X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? Like, I would be mad at myself, because why would I not tell you my expectations or boundaries? And also too, if I'm in a relationship, why would I not tell you?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Like, why would I not tell you that I'm with an amazing person and I want this to work out? So that's just kind of how I see it, is, and it's not like and I feel like a lot of guys too would be like, oh, I didn't want to talk to you anyway if you were like, oh, I have a boyfriend, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not even sorry. I don't even like saying that.
Hurt their ego.
Like, what the hell am I sorry for?
Right.
Yeah. And it's just like, it shouldn't be that way. Like, if you don't know me, you don't know if I have a boyfriend or not. So why would you? It's very much likely that the average Joe can have a boyfriend or girlfriend. So why come into it assuming like, oh yeah, they're single, they're gonna want me? That's very narcissistic. And then when they burst your bubble, it'd be one thing if I was like, oh no, you're ugly.
Yeah.
Like,
and
I'm not dating you.
I think another problem that I run into is that I get attached to somebody very easily, especially if it's somebody who I can be myself with. I do get very attached to that person. And it's not more of being like, oh, I want him or I want this person. It's more of a, I guess, not abandonment. I think it's more of like, it's hard to find somebody.
Codependency?
Yeah, it's hard to find somebody who don't judge you based off your personality. Because I'm more, I guess, when I'm comfortable, I'm more animated. When I'm uncomfortable, I'm more of, don't talk to me. Who the fuck are you? Like, don't. I give that aura of like, don't talk to me. But once you get to know me, I'm more fun, more like crazy, if you guys can see
open,
through. Yeah, more open. If you guys can see through our podcast today, I'm very more animated, more comfortable, because if I was just by myself, I would not be like this. I would not. I'd be like, bro, just sitting like, But I think that's my problem, and a lot of, I would say I run to this with my ex. Like, I had this one person that I would talk to constantly, and it was a male, but he was younger than me, but I didn't see him as something that I would pursue. More. Yeah, I wouldn't get or any satisfaction or romance from that. I saw him as a little kid that just likes to talk what I like to talk about, and our personalities kind of clicked, basically. So my ex-boyfriend at the time would get jealous of that because I'm talking to another guy, if that makes sense. But it was never, even though I reassured him, like, bro, he's legit like younger than me. I don't see him. One, he's immature. Two, that's not what I like. Three, no.
That's not what I like.
And four, if I really wanted him, I would not be dating you. I would be cheating. I'm not a cheater. I like what I like, and I stay with what I like. It's just that I don't have a lot of friends. So when I do tend to try to make friends, unfortunately, it does become a male friend. Females are hard for me. So I tend to go to males because they're more, like, I have 3 brothers, so I'm more, how do I say this?
Prone or comfortable.
Yeah, more comfortable with a male presence, because it's just, they're easier to joke around with, easier to get you, they understand you, and they will match your energy fairly quickly than a female will.
Oh, I don't want to even say that it's more so they would, it's not like a male versus female thing. Like, I think it's more so a lot to do with how you grew up. Like you said, you have 3 brothers. So you're used to how they interact with the world, because they interacted with you that same way. So because you have this strong foundation of talking to your brothers, of being vocal in that way, I think that's what prompts you to be more vocal with men. And I feel like I'm kind of the same way. I mean, I didn't grow up with siblings. I'm the only child, if you haven't noticed. But I mean, I have younger siblings, but they're 4 and 8. So with that being said, it's kind of one of those things where I used to only talk to really adults. And I know that sounds weird, but I grew up only really talking to my parents and my grandmother's colleagues, and things like that. And all my cousins were basically older than I was, except for my one cousin, Kennedy. And so I was always used to talking to someone older than me, and it was hard for me to talk to someone my own age, because when I was talking to people my own age, I don't want this to sound bad, but I just say it plainly. It was just like, you care about dumb things. You say dumb things. You're a child. I'm a child. I shouldn't really feel that way, but that's kind of how I felt. Not like I'm better than you mentality, but like, you're laughing at a fart joke for what type of thing. You know, I'm not saying that that's like an actual thing that happened, but just kind of giving that comparison, you know what I mean? It's just the stuff that you find funny is not what I find funny. The things that you find amusing, that should be amusing at our age, isn't funny or amusing to me. So there's not much that I can really talk about to you. So I literally would talk to my 5th grade teacher during recess because I didn't feel comfortable with interacting with kids my own age. And it came to a point where she was like, you really need to kind of broaden your horizons and talk to more people. Like talk to your peers. You know, it's not as scary, or if it's not as lackluster, you know, as you may feel it to be. Because it was really one of those things. It was like, I feel no benefit from talking to you. And I kind of had to get out of that. You know what I mean? It wasn't like being with adults, you kind of adapt adult mentalities when it comes to building relationships. And that was kind of one of those things where I was just like, I don't see value in just playing around.
Yeah.
You know, and that shouldn't be the case. Like, you should have been a kid. So I say all that to say is that I have a certain way of interacting with people, and that can be appealing to some. So then that can prompt people getting the wrong signal that I like them or am attracted to them in a way that would be beyond just friendship. And that's why I'm always very vocal about, I'm in a relationship. I say, oh yeah, my man likes that too. You know, that those types of things, because it's like, I don't want you to get the wires crossed. It's not me being rude. It's not me thinking that, you know, I can pull any guy that comes my way, because I know that I can't. It's just one of those things of, I don't want to mess up what I have going.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yes, Miko's very likable. They're very likable.
You're very likable. You're very likable. You're very likable.
Too.
Everyone, shut up.
Yo, watch when I go into the city, bro, and I meet this guy. It's gonna be a wrap. It's gonna be a wrap. All right,
everyone's gonna like you. Everyone's gonna like you, especially Lex.
Chat, you see my face, right? Yeah. Okay. I'll update you.
I do. Everyone's gonna like you. I talk about you all the doggone time.
Do you? I'm so flattered.
You should be. Negus.
What do you mean? No, but yeah, no, Miko's very likable. I would say if Miko was a guy, she would pull all the females. All of them. Every single one of them.
You just made me choke on the grave.
She would put all of them. She got Riz for days.
I would have been dangerous if I was a man.
Oh, so dangerous.
If I had the mentality that I have now, even just like a fraction of the mentality that I have now,
She would put all the females.
I would be pulling hoes, bro.
That's
no, I'm kidding.
Funny.
Am I?
You're not kidding, no. No.
Am I kidding though?
I don't know. I feel like,
let's look at the facts.
Facts is crazy. The facts is crazy. I don't know. The only way I can pull guys is because they're just curious about me, because I'm very like off to the side, observant before I talk kind of person, and I feel like they just get curious like who I am, because I run into that a lot, especially like playing online games. Like a lot of people are curious about me even though I have no clue why, like, but I've been told a lot.
You're likable, duh.
We're not even speaking. It's my aura.
She be aura farming.
Yeah, but honestly, wow, we kind of went overtime today, which is funny.
Did we?
Yeah, we did. We're at an hour 22. I'm sorry that we went off topic. I feel like we do that a lot. But it makes it more fun. We do want to engage with you guys. Like, this is how we are normally, and we don't want to be like more of a scripted podcast and be like, this is basically two friends just talking about life together, how we would be at a coffee shop doing the same thing. It's just that we have mics and PCs
and questions
and
questions. But typically the divulsion of series of topics that you saw is normal for us. We could start at point A and end up on Z point 16.3. Like, it's
we just go.
That's just We kind of just
it's everywhere. It's everywhere, and we apologize if those listeners like more of a structured podcast and they like to stick on topics, but we're not like that. We're just all over the place because something will pop in our head like, yo, remember when this happened, blah 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 blah. We just start going off on it.
Say like, this and such and such and such, and
yeah,
like, did it though? Right. Yeah, because of like a X, Y, and Z.
right. So
I feel like we've done that a lot.
But I love that. It makes us different, and definitely if you guys want more of this, please follow us on our social medias, Discord, Spotify, and YouTube. We haven't started TikTok. Instagram, which
TikTok.
Have we posted on Instagram? I don't think we have. Miko, that's your job. I don't do Instagram.
You the clips person. I'll post them.
Me? Look at this. She tried to blame me.
I'll post them.
I'll you know, it's not even either of our jobs. It's our mods' jobs. Mods, you need to start doing your job.
Yeah.
Start doing your job.
Get the clips.
Because you're not doing it.
And I don't want to hear anyone talking about how y'all should show y'all faces. We did it.
It's done.
Stop telling us.
Like,
we might do it again.
Yeah, with other people.
Maybe.
It'll be fun. But
well, that is a wrap, guys. We appreciate you being here with us.
Yes.
Thank you for being part of the Let's Be So For Real fam. As she said, make sure to follow us on our socials, like and comment down below. And we really want to hear from you guys. What are boundaries that you've set? Tell us stories about anyone crossing any boundaries for you. Just chat with us. We love to see it and love to hear it. Bye, real ones.
Bye, real ones. Blah blah blah.
Blah blah blah. I don't say blah blah blah.
Blah blah blah.